What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike Pinsent. I'm a local realtor here in Calgary, and if you're new to the channel and like to learn about real estate tips as well as what it's like living in Calgary, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And today we're going to be talking about 10 common mistakes that I see first-time homebuyers make so that you can avoid them and thank me later. Let's go. Mistake number 1, shopping before getting financially pre-qualified. This is probably one of the most talked about things in the real estate industry. I've said it a million times before, but regardless of how much it gets talked about, people seem to still want to skip this step. If you are getting a mortgage, you need to do this. It needs to be done regardless, and it needs to be done through an actual mortgage professional, be that a bank or a mortgage broker, and not just some online form that you punched in a few numbers and it's telling you that you're approved. I understand that looking at houses is obviously more exciting than doing this, but it has to be done. Get it done immediately, then you don't have to worry about it anymore and you can focus on the fun stuff. Mistake number 2, spending more than you can afford. So you've gone to the bank or a mortgage broker to complete your pre-qualification. You're all pre-approved and ready to go. Well, the next step to this is you need to figure out all of your expenses and what a comfortable monthly payment is going to be for you. Because as an example, let's say you're approved up to $500,000. Well, that doesn't factor in your lifestyle. So maybe you like to travel or there's expensive hobbies that you're into. Whatever it is, they're not going to be looking at that. So make sure whatever amount it is that you're wanting to spend, that it's going to factor in your lifestyle as well so that you can live comfortably and not become house poor, where you're in a house that at once you absolutely loved and now you no longer like it anymore because you can't do anything else. You can't live your life. You're just stuck in this house and it becomes like a prison. So make sure you review your numbers, go through your budget, figure out what you're comfortable spending on a monthly basis and base the purchase price on that. Mistake number 3 is underestimating the costs of home ownership. When you actually buy a home, you are now obviously responsible for it, and homes need repairs, they need maintenance, there's things that are gonna need to be done throughout the years, and it's not if, it's when. So you need to ensure that for every year you have a certain amount of money set aside so that if you ever need to replace a hot water tank or a furnace or a roof or any of the number of things that can happen with the house, you have that money set aside so it doesn't become this huge stressful event. And then on top of that, there's also additional costs that you're going to be taking on as well, like your home insurance, property taxes, and utilities. So again, make sure you are prepared for all of these things. There's nothing worse than getting big surprises. Mistake number 4 is looking for a unicorn house. I tell my clients all the time, there's no such thing as a perfect house. You will not find it. Basically, what we want to do is figure out your budget, and after that, what is most important to you in a home. And then as you start the search, you're looking for something that checks off as many boxes as possible, but you need to expect and understand that you're not going to be able to get absolutely everything. So find something that checks the majority of things that are important to you, and the things that you don't get, you're okay living without. Or maybe you can even do some renovations to the home when you move in so you can make it more to your liking. Mistake number 5 is making big purchases on credit during the time of shopping for a home. When you go through the pre-qualification process, the lender is going to be looking at things like your income and debt, and based on this information, they're going to give you a pre-qualification amount. Now, if you go out after getting this done and let's say you go and buy a new vehicle, that is going to affect your financial position because now you have added on new debt. and you can go from being approved to declined very quickly. So if there's any big purchases that you have in mind, whether that be a new vehicle you're thinking about getting, or you want to purchase some new furniture for your house, hold off on doing that until you finalize the purchase and you've got the keys to your new home. Once you're at that stage, you have the mortgage already, so you can go ahead and shop for whatever it is you're looking for. Mistake number 6, wanting to work with the listing agent to get a better deal. This is one I hear all the time. This is super common. The thing that you need to understand is the listing agent has a fiduciary duty to the seller to act in their best interests at all times, which essentially means that they're trying to generate the highest price for that home and the best terms and conditions in favor to the seller. So if you're a buyer and you go to work with that agent, how do you expect that you're going to get the best deal when that agent's job is to represent the seller? Let's say even hypothetically, if that agent had decided to kick back a little bit of their commission because now they're getting 2 deals instead of 1. Well, what if that home is overpriced? Do you think that agent is going to tell you that? No, because again, their fiduciary duty is to the seller. So don't think that you're going to get a better deal working with the listing agent. When you purchase a home, the seller actually pays the buyer's agent's commission as well. So when you're buying a home, it's free to use the services of a realtor. So find your own realtor that's going to look after your best interests and work on getting you the absolute best deal possible for your new home. Mistake number 7, not anticipating the necessary closing costs when buying a home. When you purchase a home, there's certain expenses that you will incur during the process as well. Things like getting a home inspector or doing a professional condo doc review, hiring a lawyer, and maybe you're looking at potentially getting a moving truck. There's a bunch of things like this that will happen throughout the process, and they all cost money, and you are responsible as the buyer to pay these costs. So make sure you have a certain amount of money set aside during the time of shopping for a home to cover all of these expenses as well. Mistake number 8 is wanting to look at way too many houses at once. Every real estate agent has had many experiences where they've got a client or a potential client that wants to look at some homes. That client sends an email with the list of homes that they want to look at for the scheduled date. You go and look at the email and you see that there's 20 or 30 houses that the buyer is wanting to see all at the same time. Don't do this. When you go and look at houses, you want to keep it to about 6 to 8 homes max. The reason for this is when you're going through all of these homes, you want to actually be able to discern the differences between them, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, and actually be able to leave that appointment feeling like, all right, we made some good progress. Either we found the home that we were looking for, or we identified more of what it is that we're looking for. If you look at 20 houses all at the same time, you're not going to be able to remember the details of each one. You'll forget. And on top of that, I can guarantee you, out of all of those homes, there's a really good chance that a lot of those homes probably aren't the most suitable for you anyways. So keep it to a limit of about 6 to 8 homes max. Mistake number 9 is cheaping out on professionals you need to hire throughout the home buying process. When you're purchasing a home, usually this is the largest financial transaction we make in our lives. And so many people are seeking out certain professionals like home inspectors and lawyers. And instead of looking for the person that's the best for their job, they're looking for the one that does it the cheapest. Guys, spend the money. Again, this is the biggest financial transaction of our lives. You want to make sure that you are purchasing a good, solid home and that you have people on your side that are looking out for your best interests. Let's say you save $100 on a home inspector. Well, what if that home inspector misses something really big? That can end up costing you thousands of dollars in the long term. So don't cheap out on this stuff. It's a one-time cost. You'll never have to do it again unless you buy another home. Find the right people for the job that are going to actually do what is right for you. Mistake number 10 is thinking you're buying a new house when you're actually buying an old house. When you look at resale homes, chances are they're gonna have some wear and tear. They're not gonna be perfect, but the seller is not responsible to fix every little thing that you want. Just because you're buying it and you might see some things wrong, like let's say if there's some nicks in the paint or scratches on the floor, just because you do not like that doesn't mean that the seller is responsible to go fix all of those things for you. Especially when we're in a super hot market like we are right now, good luck getting the seller to do anything for you, because there's just so much demand right now that if you're not willing to move forward, they're gonna move on to the next buyer. So go in with the expectation. Again, like I said before, there's no such thing as a perfect house. There may be some things that you will need to do to the home when you move in, and that's okay. Just understand that and don't have the expectation that the seller is going to do anything for you. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 10 common mistakes that I see first-time home buyers make. I hope you guys found this video helpful. When you're buying your first home, it is a super exciting process, and I understand that it can be scary and overwhelming as well. So really just wanted to provide a few tips that should help in your journey. But if you guys have any additional questions about buying a home, as always, all of my contact information is in the description below, or feel free to drop a comment as well. See you guys on the next video.